Well, somebody sent me a blackmail letter, and I thought that we could go over this today. Now, this is just a spam letter that I got in my email, and I printed it out so I could share it with you today because it actually does have to do with why we homestead. Funny enough, it all seems to come back to that. Spam is not uncommon. We've all gotten spam. I've gotten the Nigerian prince needs money and he is in love with me, so please send help kind of email. I've gotten the your USPS package is delayed. We need address confirmation. Click this link here. I've gotten the your car's extended warranty is up and you need to renew it. I've gotten them all. Now, what I have not yet gotten until this morning was a threatening letter. And that's where this spam is different from all the rest. Usually all the rest, they're polite. Catch more flies with honey than vinegar kind of thing. But today I got one that is threatening. It is of the blackmail variety. And so today I wanted to talk about why this is different, the threatening nature of it. We're going to critique the writing because there are some interesting things that this person could do better. And we're also going to explain why this is an argument in favor of homesteading. And finally, we're going to go together through 6 tips as to how you can avoid becoming a victim of a scam. First off, they've got my name right. Good for you. You spelled it correctly. It often gets misspelled. They go on to say, I know that calling insert phone number here or visiting this address would be a effective way to have a word with you if you don't take action. Don't try to escape from this. You have no idea what I'm capable of in insert town here. First of all, got my name right. Good job. Usually it gets misspelled. And you got my phone number right. That is not the correct address though. So you need to do a little bit more research. You do have the correct town, but is it really a town or more like a little village? We're not even on the map technically in our state. So, but you have no idea. I don't know what you're capable of, but I know what my crazy neighbors are capable of. Not the normal ones who live right next to us, but the druggies down the street. Those ones are the ones who frighten me, not you, obvious city person, and we'll get to that later. Also, I understand that I can only have so much of a standard for scammers and spammers, but if you're going to have a word that begins with a vowel, you need to add the word an in front of it instead of a. For example, I'm going to eat an orange. It's not I'm going to eat a orange, I'm going to eat an orange. So it would be a effective way to have a word with you. I'm sorry, it's Anne. They got some information correct. The address that they have here is a former address, but I technically didn't live in the house at that address. I was in my camper in the person's field. So even if you went to that address, when I was living there, I wasn't actually living in a house, it was in the field. And who's gonna come into a dumpy field full of garbage, because we did not keep it looking nice, and try to knock on a camper, you know? More power to you if you do. I suggest you read this message carefully. Take a moment to chill, breathe, and analyze it thoroughly. We're talking about something serious here and I ain't playing games. You don't know me whereas, sorry, I can't get through it without giggling. You don't know me, whereas I know everything about you. And right now you are thinking, how, right? All right, there are some more issues with the writing style here, but I see that this person really is getting caught between trying to be pithy and they're really coming off as well-educated, at least when it comes to writing English, because they have apostrophes placed in the appropriate places. However, they're using proper English, but then trying to add in I'm scary with words like ain't. Okay, if you're going to be having a threatening letter, you can't try to write the letter as if you were talking to me in person. Written form has to be different than verbal communication. Now, when I talk on my videos, it's a lot more informal than if I were to be writing a paper. So I would be proofreading, I would be more succinct, I wouldn't be adding in the word like or those kinds of things do not get added to written word, which they didn't do that necessarily here. But if they're going to say ain't, I mean, they're trying to be proper in their English, but then they add in ain't as if like they're some kind of gangster. It's just not flowing well, okay? That's some critiques for you right there. Also, I know everything about you, and right now you are thinking, how, right? Okay, first of all, thinking, comma, quotation marks around the word how. Capitalize the H in how, question mark after that, and then you could do another comma and say, right? I'm being nitpicky, but come on, you started it with this letter. Well, you've been treading on thin ice with your browsing habits, scrolling through those videos and venturing into the darker corners of cyberspace. I installed a malware on an adult website, and you accessed it to watch, if you know what I mean. We're gonna have to talk about your use of the space bar, or lack thereof in some parts, but that's okay. And when you got busy watching those videos, your smartphone started out working as a RDP, remote device, which provided me with total control over your device. I can peep at everything on your display, flick on your cam and mic, and you wouldn't even notice. Oh, and I have got access to all your emails, contacts, and social media accounts too. Now, this person's trying to send out a generalized email, assuming that they're eventually going to hit somebody who watches those websites. I do not. I don't need to. I have a husband and we're doing just fine. Thank you very much. But I do understand what they're trying to do. They're trying to insert some information and then scare whoever it is, because a lot of people do watch those things. The reason why this one is both funny and a little sad is that they're just being so wordy. You know, have you never watched those 90s films? 90s films is all about kidnapping and ransom notes, okay? Where they cut out newspaper or magazine and stick it on. You gotta be succinct with that kind of thing. Just very, very succinct and brief to the point, because who's going to spend all their time cutting out this ransom notes letter by letter from all these different magazines? You know what I mean? And really, the intimidation factor is in the brevity. If you're not brief, to the point, you're getting wordy, all right? Obviously, you have more education because of the way well, I'm saying you. I mean, you are a lovely person viewing this. You probably didn't send me this email. But this person's really trying a little too hard. And that's really my main complaint. If you're gonna be intimidating, be intimidating. And I am pretty sure this person is Gen Z because of the language they use. You'll be seeing it a little bit later. But what are some things? Chill. Okay, that's a millennial thing, but using words like I can peep, flick on your cam and mic and all that stuff, this really does come off to me as somebody who is more Gen Z. Been keeping tabs on your pathetic life for a while now. Hey, it's not that pathetic. It is just your bad luck that I found your bad deeds. I gave in more days than I should have investigating into your data. Data, potato. How do you say it? I usually say data. Extracted quite a bit of juicy info from your system. And, capitalize this here, fella. Oh dear. And I've seen it all. Yeah. Don't capitalize the second yeah. I've got footage of you doing filthy things in your house. Nice setup, by the way. Thank you. I then developed videos and screenshots where on one side of the screen, there's the videos you were playing, and on the other part, it's you, pleasuring yourself. Okay, they said something else, but oh dear. With just a click, I can send this video to all of your contacts. All right, there's some issues here. I mean, I'm saying there's some issues there. There's another one. I know that I do it. There are some issues there. They're doing that right there too, where they say, there's the videos. It's there are the videos. Again, verbal format versus written. You gotta be a little bit more pedantic when it comes to being written. Filthy things in your house. Nice setup, by the way. My house. This applies to people with a house. Your confusion is clear, but don't expect sympathy. In good faith, I am ready to wipe the slate clean and let you get on with your regular life. I thought my life was pathetic. Now it's regular? Be consistent. And forget you ever existed. I am going to provide you 2 alternatives. First option, we don't capitalize O in option, is to turn a deaf ear to my email. Let's see what is going to happen if you opt this path. I will send your video to all your contacts. The video is straight fire. Oh, Gen Z. And I can't even fathom the embarrassment you'll face when your colleagues, friends, and fam watch it. But hey, that's life, ain't it? Don't be playing the victim here. I'm so glad in good faith this person's got my back. Second wise option is to pay me and be confidential about it. We will name this my confidentiality tip. You should be capitalizing. If you're going to name something, capitalize. All right. Now let me tell you what will happen when you go with this path. Your dirty secret will remain your secret. I will wipe everything clean once you come through with the payment. You'll transfer the payment via Bitcoins only. Is Bitcoins plural? I've only ever heard it referred to as Bitcoin. Huh. I want you to know I'm aiming for a win-win here. I honor my obligations. Well, good on you for being honorable, fella. So glad. Amount to be sent, $19.50, as in $1,950. Well, at least it's not $2,000. Gave me $50 off there. It's not my birthday. Bitcoin address is this long one that I probably have to report somewhere. I'm sure there's a way to report it. I'll be looking into that later. Let me tell you, it's peanuts. Let me tell you, it's peanuts for your tranquility. I'm so sorry. Listen, what are you? 70? What? This is like something that Humphrey Bogart on the silver screen would have said. Listen, as peanuts for your tranquility. I know that's a terrible Bogart impersonation. But listen here, kid. It's peanuts. Peanuts, I tell you. Hold on, pay attention. This one's in bold. Pay attention. You've got 1 day to sort this out, and I will only accept Bitcoin. I've a specific pixel within this email, and right now I've been notified that you've read this message. Okay, I've a specific pixel. That's making me think. At first I was thinking this is an educated Gen Z young white male, possibly from the East Coast, based off of some of the verbiage and, possibly. But with this right here, I'm actually wondering if this is maybe more of somebody from the UK, possibly from India, because they speak British English, not American English. And I really have not met many people at all Americans, who say I've a instead of I have a. Very American to say I have. Very rare have I heard anybody American use the contraction I've in this regard. Up until this point, I'm thinking, all right, educated, probably high school, some college or college graduate, maybe. But if you did just do high school, this person probably paid close attention, because there are the general population kids who just don't care and they don't know the difference between your and your, as in that is your item over there and you're welcome. They don't know the difference between the two. There. That is a common mistake. I understand that it's a common mistake. This person obviously paid attention in high school, obviously cared about academia a little bit more than other people I've met have. Definitely not country. Definitely not. Not an insult to country people, but typically country people do not use the same kind of verbiage. And Gen Z, come on. Gen Z. They're using a lot of different terms. That is very typical to that age group. Then you get all old-timey. Let me tell you, it's peanuts for your tranquility. Sorry. So that's, and then also the contraction of I've being used in that context. I'm actually wondering if this is more, international than American. Who knows though? This email and Bitcoin address are custom made for you, untraceable. If you are unfamiliar with Bitcoin, Google it. You can buy it online or through a Bitcoin ATM in your neighborhood. There's no point in replying to this email or negotiating. It's pointless. My price is fixed. As soon as you send the complete payment, my system will inform me and I will wipe out all the dirt I got on you. Remember, if I notice that you've shared or discussed this message with anyone else, don't tell anyone. Shh. Your garbage will instantly start getting sent to your contacts and I will post a physical tape to all of your neighborhood next week. Physical tape? Again, what are you, 70? Physical tape? It's all digital, not analog. That's making me wonder, like, physical tape. Does this person even know what a VHS is? I remember when we got our first DVD player when I was a kid. And I know some of you are even older than I am. Look, my dad was born in 1950. He told me about when gas was a nickel. I know that. But as far back as I can go, I remember you couldn't make a phone call if somebody was using the internet. Remember Be Kind, Rewind, Blockbuster? All right, physical tape. What do you know about physical tape? To all of your neighborhood next week. Well, good luck finding my neighbors. And don't even think about turning off your phone or resetting it to factory settings. I already have all your data. I don't make mistakes, comma, my name. Again, credit to you for spelling it correctly. Honestly, those online tips about covering your camera aren't as useless as they seem. Now I am waiting for my payment. And they try to do an ellipsis. Is it ellipsis or ellipses? See, I don't even know. The ... But they only got 2 dots in. Well, I mean, okay, so here's the thing. If you're gonna go all out with a threatening blackmail letter, my point is commit. Commit to either appropriate and properly placed things such as apostrophes and spaces, capitalize properly, don't capitalize where you don't need to, have all of the dots in your ... I'm going to grade this. I'm going to grade intimidation, I'm going to grade accuracy, and I'm going to grade overall you're trying to get your point across. I can't grade it on a curve. This is the first and hopefully only blackmail letter I've ever received. 1, intimidation. 0 out of 5. I'm sorry. I mean, you did get my name right and my phone number, but I mean, that's very common to get. You could very easily get that online. It's peanuts for your tranquility. Stop it. I'm gonna have to include that next time I ask something of my husband. Be like, listen, I want this potted plant. Is peanuts for your tranquility here at home. He should buy me more flowers. Maybe in the spring. He does a good job of that already. All right, so we went together through the blackmail letter. We discussed why spam is common, but why this one is different. We critiqued, we had some laughs. And if you are going to scam people, don't. But if you're going to, commit. So either do I don't think I finished my thought previously. If you're going to do the pithy language, stick with pithy, get it right. Or if you're going to be more intimidating, keep it short, with a lot of words. It's just not quite hitting the spot that I think you're trying to get. Why this is an argument for homesteading. Okay, look, I could laugh at this letter, but some people might not. Some people, this might apply to a little bit more accurately, whether or not it's the adult website thing, or you do live in a house, or you do have all the things they listed in here. You could have all that even homesteading out in the country, but the more in the country you are, the more inaccessible you are. So you're not near a bunch of crazies who could come break in. That doesn't mean it won't happen, but you really have more safety out in the country in a bigger piece of land if you can manage it than if you were in the city. Now, that's not practical for everybody. Not everybody wants that, and that's okay. And there are things that you can do to secure your house or urban homestead from strangers and scary people and stuff. We'll go through some of those things a little bit later. But I think that this is a really good argument for homesteading, that these things that people maybe in the more suburban areas, the more city areas, they have to worry about spammers and scammers and information and people accessing them, their physical person, a lot more easily than I have to worry out here. Now, I do have a commute to get to town. I am very far. I don't get food delivery service. There is a trade-off. And so not everybody's willing to do that, and that's okay. I like the peace of mind, not living a life built off of fear, but I like the peace of mind knowing that there are very sick people in the world. There are a lot of weirdos, and living out here is a way that I can kind of be the mother hen to my kids, to my property, have my wings around what I hold near and dear, holding it loosely knowing that it could all get taken away because that is life. But I try to mitigate risk as much as possible, and I'm just more comfortable way out here. All right, now we're gonna talk about the 6 things that you can do whether you are in the country, on a homestead, or in the city, doesn't matter where you are. 6 tips that you can do to avoid being a victim of a scam. Number 1, do not click on links. If you get a link to another website in a text message on your phone, in an email, please do not click on the link. My dad almost got scammed on an Amazon email that he sent to me. He was concerned because there was a problem with our Amazon account. I said, don't click on any links. Go directly to Amazon. Do not click on any links. All right, number 2, look at the sender email. Is it legitimate? So that applies to my dad's issue too. He did not look at the sender email. He did not pay attention to the multitude of spelling errors, grammatical errors. Look at the email. If you get an email and if you're concerned about it, and if they have some kind of a link for you to click on, see point 1, don't click on it. Look at the email, and it's okay to play it safe and sorry. Delete it unless it's an IRS thing. That one can be scary. But if it's somebody pretending to be the IRS, there are phone numbers that you can call. Go to the actual website of the IRS, call a number on the website. Never, never, never click a link or call a number in a text message or in an email that you get. Don't do it. Go directly to the website. I cannot emphasize that enough. Number 3, services. I've heard them advertised. I haven't looked too deep into them. There's one called Delete Me. I don't know if it's any good. I see it advertised by a lot of different people. If you have something like that, where it could actually, you pay a service that then takes away all of your information from the internet, that's really good too. You could probably hire someone to do it who's more tech savvy, but know who you are hiring, know what service you are doing, research them. Don't just hear it from someone on YouTube and then decide to go for it. Look them up first, see if they're a legitimate company, and see the reviews of other people. Tip number 4, know how much information you put out there. Your name is online. I guess unless you hire one of those services that I've talked about before, I don't know how much is left over after you hire those services, but your name is out there. I was able to look up my former massage therapist. I was visiting California, couldn't tell if she was still in business. I looked up her name and popped up her name and her address, her former addresses, everybody who lived in that address as well, all of their ages, their gender, all of that all popped up just when I looked up my former massage therapist's name. So that stuff is out there. So don't be surprised if you get an email or a text that has your name and some personal information. What are you gonna do? You're gonna call me? I already get spam phone calls. I already know and text messages. I already know that my number's out there. Just don't pick up. They'll leave a message. And if you don't recognize the number, they will leave a message. Number 5, don't overshare online. I can't believe I have to say this. I see people putting their kids' full legal name online, recording their kids' birth weight of their children, birth time, birth length. First of all, why do people care how much your baby weighed? I know you're proud. That's lovely and wonderful. Share that in a private group of people you actually know. Don't share that to the internet. Don't share what city you live in or what location they were born in. This is not just you. This is your children that we're talking about. You can never scrub everything completely, because other sicko freaks take screenshots or they download the video and it will never be gone. The internet is forever. So that's number 5. Don't overshare. And number 6, have a clean conscience. If you didn't visit those adult websites, I don't care how many people tell you that it is good to do that. It is fine. It is not harmful. There's science. It is harmful. It is bad. It is morally wrong. If you struggle with it, I understand. It is common. Sometimes addictions are necessary to keep you alive, because not everybody has lived a happy growing up childhood and they went through some stuff. And maybe being in the throes of an addiction is what kept them alive for so many years. Now, at some point, they have to break it. I'm not for addiction, but I'm saying that sometimes some people struggle with these things. It doesn't matter what it is. And that is something that they needed to do at that time in their life. But you can't stay there forever. So have a clean conscience. Be blameless. Be righteous. Do what is morally good and right, and then you don't have to worry about people trying to blackmail you. And also, know that if you are doing anything that is maybe something done in the darkness and not in the light, know that if it does get brought to light, that you're okay. That maybe there's some big scandal, maybe your grandma's disappointed in you, maybe your wife leaves you, doesn't matter. Maybe your kids are disappointed and won't talk to you. But nothing is beyond repair. So if you are doing something wrong and you just can't seem to kick it, being okay knowing that that might come to light, it just makes you human. Generally speaking, there is not a place you could go to where you are too far to be redeemed. Now, if something that you're interested in has to do with young people who are not of age, to the wood chipper you go. There are some people who are beyond rehabilitation and their consciences are so seared that, again, to the wood chipper you go. No sympathy for you. But anyway, clean conscience, do your best. And even if you're not doing your very best, maybe you're at a low point right now or you have something that's embarrassing that you want to eventually kick as a habit, you are not beyond being redeemed. Few exceptions apply. So even if you have something horrible that comes out, other people, I promise you, have gone through the same thing. Maybe not these same exact details, but the same thing. Make deep connections with some other people, not a bunch. You know, you can't have 100 really good close friends. That's just not the way that people work. But having, 2 to 5 really deep, close friendships is something that can help and can heal and can give you a lifeline whenever you struggle with something, because eventually you'll struggle with something. Not saying that everybody struggles with addiction, but eventually we all go through hard times. And having the relationships, having that small community of people is ultimately of great benefit to you and to others. So in conclusion, that is my blackmail letter, the first I've ever received. I hope you got a laugh out of it. I certainly did. Don't do bad things, because really the sacrifices that you make to have discipline and self-control is peanuts. Peanuts, you hear? Peanuts for your tranquility.